This is NDTV. And you're watching Ndtv-Hindu.
Hello and welcome to the late night news on Ndtv-Hindu. I'm Ramanathan. The top stories tonight. 2 gangsters are shot dead by the police in an encounter near Madurai. It's the second encounter in a week in Tamil Nadu.
Actually, they are wanted criminals and police parties were searching for them.
Local train services are hit in Chennai at the peak hour this morning due to a power shutdown. Passengers stranded. The service was restored in a few hours. DMK MP Kanimozhi slams Jayalalitha, says the opposition's stand on sugarcane pricing is a drama. Tamil Nadu rejects the centre's higher education bill, says it runs counter to its reservation policy.
Went over the state sides on education.
23,000 voters added to the electoral rolls for the upcoming Pennagram by-poll. The chief electoral officer brushes aside allegations of bias.
Some people may or may not be happy, that's a different matter. So we have to do our duty.
Captain Dhoni and VVS Lakshman knocks brilliant centuries as India declares after posting a huge score. The top story tonight, Tamil Nadu witnessed yet another encounter, this time near Madurai, where 2 gangsters were shot dead by the police. Facing flak from the opposition for the deteriorating law and order situation in the state, the cops seemed keen to send out a stern message to the gangsters: reform or perish.
In police files, they were dreaded gangsters with a slew of criminal cases pending against them. Kavayarusu and his close associate, Vandu Murugan, fell to police bullets this morning at Tepakkulam near Madurai.
At about 12:15 hours, 2 persons they were proceeding towards Madurai city. Actually, they are wanted criminals and police parties were searching for them. When they were stopped in a temporary check post, actually they attacked the police party. The head constable and one SI, they got injured, and the other members of the police party, they opened fire.
This encounter comes days after the Neelankarai encounter, where 2 gangsters, Dindigal Pandi and Guduvancheri Velu, were gunned down by a special team of the Chennai police. Sources from the police department say that they have compiled a database of notorious criminals operating in the state. With Chandran in Madurai, Nayantara Krishna for NDTV Hindu.
The passengers of the Chennai suburban train services were stranded for several hours this morning as an electrical fault forced the railway authorities to shut down the power lines. Services were restored around noon.
Train services between Chennai Beach and Tambaram came to a grinding halt at around 9:30 this morning. This was due to an overhead traction fault at Pallavaram station, and passengers were miffed with the railways for the delay during the rush hour. They were forced to hop onto other means of transport.
Morning we have faced power failure for a train. Actually 2 ways some problems happened. One way for beach to Tambaram, another one way for beach to Velachery.
The problem was reportedly between the suburban lines of the 2 stations from the Chennai Beach and Tambaram.
And out of these 4 lines, there are 2 main lines and 2 suburban lines. Now, it is in these 2 suburban lines that the power cut happened, because of which these trains which run on these suburban lines could not play as per the schedule.
After about 10:30, trains running on the suburban lines were diverted to the main lines and services were back on track around noon. In Chennai with camera person Naveen and reporter Ramanathan, Divya for NDTV Hindu.
The Triplicane fire station now wears a deserted look after it was demolished to make way for Tamil Nadu's Chief Minister Dream Secretariat project. The fire station at any point in time had a standby capacity of 2 fire engines, which has now been accommodated in the nearby Egmore fire station. The Triplicane police station next to it, though, has been spared the hammer as the Tamil Nadu CM was against demolishing the historical building that houses it. The Secretariat compound will be extended to these premises that you now see on your screens. Now, the fire station is the latest building to be razed, but many more have gone earlier. The statue of King Edward VII was moved to the government museum. Even the Chepauk MLA's office was brought down. But one building that stands among the ruins is more than a century old, the Triplicane police station. The police station still stands among the ruins of other buildings because of its historical significance. Built in 1890, Irish architect Henry Irwin, known for his distinct style of architecture, was associated with the construction of the police station. While Lord Connemara was the then governor, T. Weldon was the commissioner of the police. The Triplicane station still adorns a plaque at the entrance. Moving on, the central government's proposed bill to set up the National Commission for Higher Education and Research is facing criticism in Tamil Nadu. According to the Union HRD Minister Kapil Sibal, the bill is aimed at reforming the country's education system.
In what could be termed as the most wide-ranging makeover of higher education in the country, the centre has decided to step up an overarching body in higher education. This new commission will determine, coordinate and maintain standards, including appointment of vice-chancellors and advice in the funding for research. Though the centre might see it as a reform, it has failed to satisfy its own ally in Tamil Nadu. The neighbouring states Kerala and Karnataka have also opposed it. The Tamil Nadu government sees it as an infringement on states' limited rights in education.
இந்த வரைவு முன் மசோதா இருக்கிற மாநில அரசாங்கத்தின் குறைந்தபட்ச கல்வி அதிகாரத்தை கூட கைப்பற்ற நினைப்பதாகவே நாங்கள் கருதுகிறோம். It's an infringement over the state's rights on education.
We want that the system, higher education should serve the needs of the people, needs of the students of the respective states. The person or a handful of persons sitting at Delhi cannot dictate terms. At best, they can frame policies and leave the implementation, administration of the higher education system to the respective states. That is our stand.
However, this process is at its first stage, but the Union Human Resource Development Minister Kapil Sibal wants this bill to be tabled in the upcoming budget session of the Parliament. The bill does not envisage the abolition of powers of legislative assemblies of state to enact laws on the universities. But as this draft bill has drawn criticism at its preliminary stage, the Union Human Resource Development Minister says it will only come into effect in 2013.
There is near unanimity that this core curriculum should be adopted. Now the question is, on the basis of this core curriculum, when should an all India test take place?
As Chennai gets ready to host a national consultation on this draft bill on Wednesday, it's quite clear that the battle has just begun between the state and the centre on who will control the education system. In Chennai, with camera person Devraj and reporter Shabir Ahmed, Divya for Ndtv-Hindu.
Earlier, we were joined by A. Ramaswamy, Vice Chairman of the Tamil Nadu State Council for Higher Education. For more on that.
The bill, as prepared by the central agency, envisaged the creation of a central body to take over all the functions of UGC, AICT and NCT. But in the end, they are telling that all the mistakes committed by or reported to be committed by UGC, NCT and AICT will be over after the creation of this National Council for Higher Education. But one should understand that all this UGC, NCT, all those things, councils were created by central agency, central government. If those agencies were committed such mistakes, what would happen after the creation of this new National Council for Higher Education? It may also go in the same way and do all the mistakes committed by the UGC, NCT and other central agencies. This commission will go against social justice. For instance, central government has declared 27% reservation in the central education institution, but they are not able to implement those schemes. Whereas our state government is implementing 69% reservation to the downtrodden community. This will be severely affected. Downtrodden people will not get any admission or any higher position in the proposed university.
Moving on, Chief Minister M. Karunanidhi has urged central government to put on hold the proposed nutrient-based subsidy scheme. He says it would lead to a fertilizer price hike. Karunanidhi has also written about it to Congress Party President Sonia Gandhi and Prime Minister Manmohan Singh. The Chief Minister Karunanidhi's daughter Kanimozhi today launched one of the strongest attacks against AIADMK Supremo Jayalalitha, calling her a drama queen for raking up the sugarcane pricing issue. Kanimozhi seems to have hit Jaya where it hurts the most. That too, at a time when a lot of her loyalists are crossing over to the DMK.
Jayalalitha's sugarcane protest is a big drama. The people of Tamil Nadu can see through her politically motivated concern for farmers. That's how the daughter of DMK's patriarch described this sugarcane protest, a comeback of sorts for Amma on the streets after a long sabbatical in the hills of Ooty. Kanimozhi's clockwork precision in launching this scathing attack on Jayalalitha comes just a couple of days after this man, Rajendran, an Amma loyalist, went and paid his respects to Karunanidhi. Kanimozhi also seems to be playing on the increasing disenchantment of AIADMK workers with their leader. In the recently concluded by-polls, former AIADMK loyalist Anita Radhakrishnan too jumped onto the DMK bandwagon.
Now, are child abusers being treated with kids' gloves? Ndtv-Hindu is fighting against child abuse through a campaign, Justice for Children. This is a cause we believe in and ask you to be a part of too. Well, the law could not hold him back, but looks like the lack of money is. Alleged child abuser Will continues to wait for his release even as his lawyers are making desperate attempts to secure funds for his bail. The lawyer's inability to furnish HEUM'S bond gives the police more time to grill HEUM and frame charges. This comes after the police had failed to file a charge sheet against HEUM even after 90 days, despite having strong evidence of his sexual misdemeanors with children. So we are asking you, the viewer, are we treating child abusers with kids' gloves? We would like you to voice your opinion on this issue and join Ndtv-Hindu's campaign against child abuse, Justice for Children. You can send us your comments to feedback@ndtv-hindu.com or SMS or call us on 9941322222. We will take all your views to the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, M. Karunanidhi, to let the authorities just know how just strongly we feel about child abusers being let off lightly. The news search power for Tamil Nadu's Coastal Security Group. We will tell you more about this in a short while.